Welcome to Hunting with HECS.
Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Mike Slinkard. You know, if you've been watching Hunting with HECS, you know that we specialize in pushing the limits and getting as close as we possibly can to all kinds of animals and showcasing the HECS technology in action. This week, we're going to recap some of the best and most exciting close-up moments that we had this season. There are way too many encounters to fit in a single episode, so we picked some of our favorites, and as you're about to see, the action is nothing short of spectacular. We'll start with spring turkey and progress through the seasons, including bear, deer, and a bit of Africa as well. As always, you're going to see it all up close and personal right here on Hunting with HECS.
Hunting with HECS is brought to you by Game Hide. Hunting wear is all we do. NorthAmericanHuntingCompetition.com. Have you entered yet? Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls and UC Hunting Properties. PSE Archery. Gold Tip, the toughest arrow you'll ever shoot. Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Trophy Taker and Spot Hog. And by HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment.
We start with a spring turkey hunt. My daughter Caitlin and I were set up on some chairs only a few short steps from the decoys when this group of jakes comes in. These birds are only 5 steps away from 2 of us sitting in the wide open. Just think about that for a minute. There's 3 birds 5 steps away from 2 hunters sitting in the wide open. Well, we were hoping a bigger tom would show up, but when these young toms got in so close, Caitlin couldn't resist and decided to try to tag one. Incredibly, she was able to draw her bow with these birds inside spitting distance with no reaction whatsoever. Well, there's no doubt that HECS will get you close, but the shooting is still up to you. You know, Caitlin may have missed this time, but a few days later, we made our way down to Florida in search of Osceolas, and her luck was about to change drastically.
All right, so we're on a new piece of land. We've been iced pretty much on every other place we've been at, but they've been seeing big birds in here every day with big beards, so this is the first stop on the Grand Slam tour, so hopefully we can get it done. It'll be my first turkey, so let's go.
It wasn't long before we were set up on a big tom and he was headed her way. Well, I'm cameraman on this hunt, and when this bird stepped out, I instantly knew that this was an Osceola turkey of a lifetime. Good shot.
Did you get him?
Yep, you got him. He's running, hang on. Watch him. It's going down right there. Any seasoned turkey hunter can tell you that getting a mature wild turkey tom to within just a few yards of 2 people sitting in wide open, 4-inch tall grass is next to impossible. Yet you're seeing it again right here. This bird walks confidently across this open field, totally ignoring Caitlin and I, even though we're sitting in the wide open. Osceolas in this area are heavily hunted, and an old bird like this has likely been called in dozens of times. When this bird finally made it to the decoys, Caitlin drew her bow with the tom facing right at her. As you can see, there was no reaction at all. This type of movement is what HECS technology is all about when it comes to turkeys.
Alrighty, here he is, a nice mature bird, got pretty big spurs, a nice beard. This is my first turkey ever, and it's down here in Florida nonetheless with my dad, so of course it's extra special.
Well, we knew this bird was huge, but as it turns out, after taking some measurements and checking the record book, it would be the number 2 Osceola turkey of all time taken by a woman using archery gear. That's one heck of a way for Caitlin to start her turkey hunting career.
Hi, I'm Riley Elliott, marine biologist.
And I'm Forrest Galante, wildlife expert.
Now, we want to show you how the HECS technology blocks 95% of your body's electrical signals given off by muscle.
What we have here is a scientific instrument capable of measuring the electrical magnetic energy leaving the muscle groups of the body.
Now, we're going to get Forrest to put his arm over top of a signal sensor. Now, as he does this, you'll see that the needle goes all the way off the scale. registering that energy his body's given out. Now when we apply the HECS fabric, which is a carbon yarn put into this material that is specifically designed for the human wavelength of energy we go off, you'll see that this needle barely moves.
It's basically the same technology that's in the door of your microwave.
Which is called the Faraday cage. As he goes over, the needle barely registers. Being a shark scientist working with animals that specifically pick up electrical energy to detect prey or predators, I've seen significant reduction in their threat displays or in their approach distances, allowing me to get more natural and closer encounters. And for anyone else wearing this suit or this technology, I think will have the same effect too.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. HECS makes great gifts for the sportsman and the family. Take advantage of our promo code and order today. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS.
Traditionally, archery hunters in Africa set in ground blinds over water holes. It's a great way to see lots of game and it's very effective. But here at HECS, we always have that need to always be pushing the limit. So I decided instead of sitting in the blind, I'd set outside the blind in the wide open just to see what we could get away with. Not only were the animals completely unaffected by me setting outside the blind, but I was also able to get away with quite a bit of movement. You know, we had a lot of fun in Africa, and we not only had some close encounters sitting outside the blind, but we were also able to try some spot and stalk as well. Anyone who's hunted Africa knows impala are one of the most wary of all the species. They're preyed on by a multitude of predators, and slipping in on them unnoticed is considered next to impossible. Well, I was looking for a perfect shot, and these animals were completely unaware that we were there. So I just waited for them to get up and start feeding before I attempted a shot. The shot looked good, and it wasn't long before we recovered this trophy ram. Word. Oh, what a brute. And now we're switching gears and heading west. My daughter Caitlin and I each had Colorado mule deer tags in our pockets. We were slipping along a ridge line, glassing for bedded bucks, when all of a sudden we heard a big commotion above us and saw something headed our way. It turned out to be a young black bear, and he was running full tilt right towards us. He passed us at about 10 yards and had no idea we were even there. A few seconds later, we spotted what had made him run. It was a huge cinnamon-faced black bear. It had just run the smaller bear out of a patch of ripe acorns. Once the little bear was gone, the big guy headed back to his acorn patch, so we decided to stalk in for a closer look. Neither Caitlin or I had a bear tag, but we thought it'd be cool to see how close we could get. When we saw the big bear feeding on the acorns once again, Caitlin wanted to stalk in close and get a photo with her phone. Not even considering how close she might try to get, I agreed, and off she went, with me filming from behind. When she got within about 5 yards, the huge bear stood and walked right past her, never even knowing she was there, even though she was obviously in plain sight. To say I was nervous having my baby girl that close to an aggressive black bear is an understatement, but luckily, HECS proved its worth once again. The bear finally fed down the ridge and out of sight. This encounter remains one of the most favored memories that we had all season. Hunters across the country and around the world are raving about the experiences that they're seeing while using their HECS suits. You know, science has found that animals, birds, and fish are able to pick up on minor electrical changes in their electrical environment. A lot of the initial study was done on how birds, animals, and fish navigate. It's what really runs the internal compass. They're picking up that minor change in the Earth's electromagnetic field. Well, every living being also creates an electrical field that's very similar. Through heart rate and muscle movement, we're creating electrical fields that are traveling distance. And we now know that that's one of the ways when animals get in close, they know that they're close to another big living being. That's when the other senses go on alert and things get real tough if you're out there in the hunting woods. If you look closely at the fabric, you'll see a highly electrically conductive carbon yarn woven in a specific grid pattern. This electrically conductive carbon yarn is sized and shaped to block the electrical energy that's created by our body. By blocking these electrical fields, you're going to look more like an inanimate object than you ever thought possible. You know, visual camo and scent control is still important, but the HECS technology gives you an advantage that you've never had before. If you haven't experienced the HECS advantage for yourself, don't delay. Get a HECS suit on the way, because it's going to make a difference in your next hunt.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. HECS makes great gifts for the sportsman and the family. Take advantage of our promo code and order today. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS.
As you know, every week we feature a clip of our HECS suit in action that's sent in by hunters across the country just like you. The best clip of the year wins a free hunt with Great Texas Hunts and the HECS crew. This year, the hunt was won by Jonah Stout of Team Dead On for this incredible turkey footage. Jonah is set up on the edge of a green field, and this jake rolls in and starts flogging the decoy. Jonah doesn't want to shoot the jake and sees it as a perfect opportunity to see just how much he can get away with using his HECS gear. Well, needless to say, Jonah and the entire Team Dead On crew are true HECS believers. Coming in a close second and well worth mentioning was the coyote clips that were submitted by Jim Walker from Burns, Oregon.
I was very skeptical when I purchased this suit last year, and you know, just wearing it one season of calling coyotes and bobcats, it's been a totally different experience. The coyotes, I've gotten away with so much more movement this season. It was just unbelievable. The way coyotes were in my lap. They'd act like they didn't even know I was even in the country, laying in what I call just yellow grass. That was my cover.
Well, that's good. So how many coyotes did you kill this year?
Got 125.
125 coyotes. Well, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it, and appreciate you telling everybody about the HECS suit and your experiences. And that is this week's HECS Close-Up from Jim Walker, Burns, Oregon. Well, people are always asking us just how well HECS works on deer. So we made a special effort this year to show HECS in action on both whitetail and mule deer. We started in Texas, where I put it all out there by sitting in the wide open just out on a chair to see what we could do. You can see for yourself that I had white-tailed deer within feet of me. Some of these deer are only 20 yards away, but I'm able to come to full draw without any problem at all. We saw the same thing in Kansas as well. We put up the blinds and hunted them the same day with the windows wide open. Again, by using our HECS suits coupled with the ozonic units, the deer completely ignored the blinds and we were able to take some great Kansas bucks. Keep in mind, we just popped this blind up that day, but the deer plainly didn't even care. By blocking your electrical signal, we were able to blend in with our environment, and the results speak for themselves. You done? Well, that didn't take long at all. Real nice 10-point buck. Look at that. Wow. Well, I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss the HECS product line. First off is our basic HECS suit. This is the basic suit that's been used by hunters all around the world and had amazing success. It comes shirt, pant, and head cover all together. Very lightweight, very easy to use. You can use it as an underlayer or over. the HECS technology works either way. We tried to design this piece to be used in just about any hunting situation. The pants are cut kind of like sweatpants. They do have an elastic top, a drawstring, elastic cuffs on the bottom, and a fly, and hip pockets in case you want to wear them as an outer layer. The shirt is basically a long sleeve t-shirt, but it does have thumb holes so it's easy to get on underneath, has serge stitching for added durability, and a nice embroidered HECS logo. The head net has a laser cut eye hole, drawstring in the back. It's very simple and very easy to use.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. HECS makes great gifts for the sportsman and the family. Take advantage of our promo code and order today. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. This week's episode is packed completely full of the best close encounters of the year. Now, let's get back to the hunt.
While we were in Kansas, we met two brothers, Rick and Tony, both hunting mule deer. They were having some incredible close-up spot and stalk action. On this first hunt, we're tagging along with Tony Joyer, who's hunting mule deer with his crossbow. Tony spotted a big buck moving through the area with some does and decided to put a stalk on him. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Tony's arrow went way low.
I missed.
There are still deer streaming by Tony, so he recocks his bow in case another shooter happens by. Tony has to stand up and cock the bow, and the deer just stand around watching him. This is where HECS really shines. These deer should be blasting for the hills. With HECS technology in play, they just stand around unsure of what he is. Well, as luck would have it, a second shooter buck is bringing up the rear of the herd. Tony is squeezing the trigger on this big buck, but his bow won't go off. Even with all the movement and noise trying to stop the buck, it doesn't give him a second glance. The buck is almost in his lap. He has deer all around him, and remember, he just missed a buck only seconds earlier. It's pretty fair to guess that Tony was just a little overwhelmed with everything that was going on. With all this action, we can certainly understand how a guy might forget to click the safety off on his crossbow. Later that afternoon, Tony was back in the blind and covered up by deer. Some of these deer moved by only a couple of steps away from the blind, but by wearing HECS and running the ozonic units, they were able to stay completely undetected. What happens next can only be described as epic. When the fight was over, the big buck gave Tony a perfect shooting opportunity, so he made the most of it. Once again, we see how HECS keeps the non-target animals calm and eventually led to this big bruiser making an appearance and putting on a once-in-a-lifetime show for Tony. Now we catch up with Rick Joyer, who had spotted a good buck on a hill across from the blind. Rick decides to get out of the blind and try to put a stalk on him. As you can see, he's almost on top of this buck, but the bushes are just too thick to get a shot. Rick keeps moving and maneuvering, trying to find an opening to shoot through. All the while, the buck remains completely oblivious to his presence. Finally, the deer spots some does in the distance and heads over their way. As luck would have it, it would also put him right into Rick's open shooting lane. Well, both of the hunts with Rick and Tony Joyer are perfect examples of just what can be accomplished while wearing the HECS technology. New for 2016, we are proud to bring you the new HECS base layer. The base layer is a lightweight, semi-thermal product that's made to be worn under your other hunting clothing, but has the HECS technology and the HECS Advantage woven right in. The base layer is 3 pieces: shirt, pant, and the head cover. The shirt is a 1/4 zip Henley with the HECS logo embroidered. It does have serge stitching, also has thumb holes so it's easy to get on underneath your other clothing. The pants are basic long underwear type pants. They do have serge stitching throughout, elastic bands on the top, elastic on the bottom. Very easy to use, comfortable to wear under any of your favorite hunting clothing. For those of you out there that's been asking for a little bit heavier HECS layer, this is the item for you. Check out the new HECS base layer, brand new from HECS for 2016. And finally, we have our HECS accessories. Our ball cap made out of the HECS material, lightweight, very comfortable, one of the most comfortable caps you'll ever wear. New for 2016 is our HECS socks. The socks are a heavyweight, over-the-calf sock, very durable. They're going to be nice to wear in any kind of hunting situation, and of course they have the HECS technology woven right in. The HECS gloves are a lightweight, stretchy material made for any hunting situation and are now available in mossy oak camo. HECS technology is found in dealer stores nationwide. Check out our website for a dealer listing near you. Or you can always order direct from HECSLLC.com. That's HECSLLC.com. Or call us direct at 541-575-HECS. That's 541-575-4327. You know, we have operators standing by, but we're very busy. If you get the answering machine, be sure to leave a message and leave your phone number, and we'll be sure to get right back to you and get the HECS suit on the way. HECS technology is changing the way people hunt nationwide and all around the world. Don't delay. Get online or give us a call today and get a HECS suit on the way. It's going to change the way you hunt.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts.
Well, this has been an amazing season, and we just touched on the highlights in this week's show. From amazing close-up encounters to rarely witnessed deer behavior, in every case, HECS technology proves itself by helping hunters get closer and experience interaction like never before. If you have a hunter in the family who would like to get closer to game, HECS makes a perfect Christmas gift. If you're unsure of the size, just get a certificate and we'll ship it directly to them. There's no better time like right now, and we enjoyed bringing you the latest HECS adventures and would like to thank you for bringing us into your homes each week. Next year, we'll be back with even more exciting close-up encounters right here on Hunting with HECS.
Closed captioning is provided by Connected a Field, Scout, Plan, Connect. If you have a great HECS encounter that you'd like to share with us, please contact us through our website. If we use it on the air, you'll be entered to win a hunt with Great Texas Hunts. As an added bonus, with each HECS purchase, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. Get those pictures and video coming, and you could be the lucky winner of this great hunt. You can find out more on our website at HECSLLC.com.